Hi, all, welcome to another episode of Mandaramradam. In this episode, we would be looking at a Arulmigu Madurakaliamman temple which is in Siruvachur. There are interesting stories behind this. Anyone who needs to talk about this temple needs to talk about Silapatikaram and Kannagi as well, who was a young woman of legendary beauty, a devout and a chaste, as she was extremely beautiful. A matching fit was made for her, and she got married to Kovalan, a wealthy merchant from Kaveri Pattinam. Things were going extremely well for the couple. However, Kovalan said to have gone behind Madhavi, who was a striking, beautiful damsel in the court of the Chora king, Karigalan. Kovalan was attracted to Madhavi for a very long time. He spent time over there. However, Kannagi was heartbroken over the news of her husband staying in with Madhavi, but she continued living as his wife, offering prayers for his well-being as well. Kovalan stayed with her for over a year, and this made him lose interest in his trade, made him lose all his wealth. He spent all his wealth with Madhavi, and Madhavi bore him a daughter whose name was Manimekalai. After a year or so, without any wealth, it kicked Kovalan back to his senses. He begged Madhavi to forgive him and rushed back to Kannagi, and Kannagi welcomed him back with open arms. This reunited couple decided to go to Madurai and start a new life all over again. Kovalan planned to start his trade in the prosperous Pandya kingdom, but having lost everything, he didn't have much to really capitalize upon. Then Kannagi suggested to take one of her anklets or silambu in Tamil. The silambu was an exquisite work of art, made out of gold, filled with precious rubies. It was worth a fortune. Kovalan took it to the market to sell it for a suitable price. Unfortunately for Kovalan, the queen of Neduncherian, the king of Madurai, had one of her anklets stolen by a greedy courtier. The anklets were very similar to Kannagi's except for the fact that they were filled with pearls instead of rubies. So when Kovalan attempted to sell the anklet at a goldsmith place, the goldsmith immediately accused him of being a thief and promptly turned him to the gods. Neduncheriya Pandian, in a towering fit of rage over the fact that the theft has taken place in his prosperous city, ordered the guards to behead Kovalan without even giving a proper trial. Kovalan was beheaded and his head rolled on the sands of Madurai. Kannagi, on hearing the news, was overwhelmed with anger. She at once took her other anklet, marched into the court of Nerunjorian in front of the entire courtiers, challenged the king, saying that the king's decision was unjust. The king challenged Kannagi back, asking her to prove that a man was innocent. Kannagi, in a fist of rage, did say, I can prove it, but that's not going to bring Kovalan back. And she threw the other anklet on the ground. The anklet broke, and ruby started spilling out. The king and the queen, seeing their mistake, went into the state of shock and they died on the spot. But that wasn't enough for Kannagi. She cursed, saying that if I had been a true Pativrata, then let the entire city of Madurai be reduced to ashes. The burning that I feel, let it burn up the city too. At once, the tall flames burst up in the city. The whole city of Madurai was burning, fed with the power of Kannagi's chastity. Kannagi leaves Madurai finally and she proceeded northwards. She came to this place called Siruvachur, where she went into a temple to stay there in the night. It is believed that Chelliyamman was the deity of Siruvachur. She came under the control of a tantric who was using her for all the evil deeds. As it happened, she warned Kannagi not to stay here. Kannagi, hearing the story of Chelliyamman, desired to help her. She requested Kaliamman to grace her, and thus came the Madura Kaliamman. The furious Madura Kaliamman then destroyed the Tantric, rescued Chelliyamman from her captivity. The Tantric, before dying, wanted to have a samadhi in the same place where people can walk over it for all the evil deeds he had pretty much done. Madurakaliamman granted him the wish. Chelliyamman was so impressed by Madurakaliamman that she asked her to stay over the place of Siruvachur and she herself moved to Periyasamy mountain, which was nearby. The first respect or the Mudal Maryade, we call in Tamil, is offered to her. Then it is actually shown to Madurakaliamman even today. The Aartis are shown to the mountain first and then to the temple. It is said that Madurakaliamman comes here on Mondays and Fridays and grant them all the wishes. The remaining days, it is said that she stays in the mountain with Cheliaman. There is also another legend. It is based on five rishis who are performing penance in the hills. Each of them would take turns to perform the rituals to goddess Kali, leaving out Monday and Friday. The goddess appeared before each of them, very pleased with their prayers, and blessed them. Immensely overjoyed, the rishis request her to make the nearby tree as their abode. Goddess Kali granted them the wish. As their prayers continued, one day a honey fell on their lips from the hive above the spot where they prayed for the goddess. This was seen as divine, and the goddess was then called as Madhurakaliyam and Madhura, being divine nectar. Yet another legend relates to three Siddhas who were living in Perumaradamalai. They found an abandoned child and took care of him. As he grew up, Budar, the boy's name, he became well versed and educated. The Siddhar, Nochindar, Nemindar, and Shambhu, who by now have completed their worldly duties, transformed into honeybees. This was said to be the result of their previous karma. They had in their previous birth stolen honey from a saint who cursed them to be reborn as honeybees. The Siddhar, as bees now, made their beehive in the tree at Madiramalai, making honey and feeding rishis who came to pray goddess Kali at the hills. This absolved them of their past sins. Bodhar, in the meantime, came to pay the respects to the teachers. He then suddenly realized his true form and happily fell at the feet of goddess Kali, who recognized him as an incarnation of Narada. Budar then requested all the Siddhas to pray to goddess Kali to get back their forms. Budar further asked the goddess that he should always be enabled to devotedly think and pray to her. Goddess Kali gave him the permission to perform the pujas on Mondays and Fridays, leaving the other days for the rishis. It is said that this is the reason for the current practice of pujas and rituals on Mondays and Fridays. Another popular legend goes Goddess Kali was coming down from the hills to the foothill where the great saint Adi Shankara was walking through the hills. As he prayed to the goddess, she appeared before him in the form of a spring to quench his thirst and then appeared to give him darshan. As she showed her true form to the Saint Adi Shankara and blessed him, she then transformed to an idol. Saint Adi Shankara then established the idol, which is continued to be worshipped as Madhura Kaliamman. Another popular legend goes that the great Sadashiva Brahmendra installed the Sri Chakram in this temple. Another interesting fact about this temple is the Kuladevam of Mahaperival family as well. This temple is just 50 kilometers from Trichy and 15 kilometers from Perambulur. On the left hand side, you would find an arch that announces this temple. Please do visit and do get the blessing of Madhura Kaliamman. Thank you. Please do like, share, comment, and subscribe to Mandramrita.